Hey guys, today we're taking a look at the high-end master model Rev Raptor from Kotobukiya. This one's been out for a while, so it's about time I got to it, right? So we're going to unbox the kit, I'll show you the posability and the gimmicks, and then we're also going to do some comparison shots. Let's get started.
Robo Shop.
Alright, let's just take a moment first to bask in the glory that is this box art by the incomparable Mr. Mercy Rabbit, of course. It's just awesome, you know. There's like a whole pack of Rev Raptors here running as they're apparently attacking this blade liger here, and just the color composition and the dynamic sort of nature of all of this. It's just great. Anyway, this is HMM number 51. We have Kotobukiya's own version of the Zoids logo here. It says Rev Raptor. Small talk or Atomi sticker, actually. I'm not sure if I've seen these before, but I'm sure I haven't. I just don't remember. On the side here, we have an illustration. We have well, the Rev Raptor logo and all the usual text. It's a pretty nifty photo here of the kit doing an I'm jumping off of a tree because I'm getting ready for a piggyback ride pose. I think it's what it's doing here. And here we have the usual photos showing the gimmicks. You know, cockpit opens, mouth opens, blades are posable, and we'll see how posable the legs are, I think. So anyway, let's actually get a look at what's in here. I'll take the lid off, and I'm just going to go quickly through what's in here, and then I'll take the sprues out of the bags to show you guys. We've got, the first bag has the silver sprue with mostly blades, and some armor pieces. We have, this is mostly legs, I think. And then we have red armor and more mechanical stuff for the legs. This looks to be the neck, more red armor, caps, and ABS plastic sprues, I think. Cockpit hatch, clear parts, Zoids core, pilot in one piece. Interesting. We have the instructions, of course, and a small sheet of what appears to be water slides, thank God. Okay, I'm gonna just quickly get the sprues out of the bags off camera, and then we're going to go through them real quick. Okay, let's just go through the stuff alphabetically here. First of all, we have A, which is a bunch of red armor, panel lines here, the usual sort of detail that you'd expect on a Kotobukiya Zoids kit. Next we have B, which is more red armor, of course. I have to say, like, this is a fairly tasteful, sort of slightly dark red color, so as to not be too garish. Nice to see that. Next I have here, this is the C sprue, which is not quite black. It's actually very dark gray, which is also pretty cool. Next I have D, which seems to be sort of the main torso assembly plus some, I don't know if these are missile launchers, but this is sort of a, I don't know, this is a very warm gray color. It seems to have sort of a slight purple tint to it, if my eyes aren't completely deceiving me, which, to be honest, I'm not a fan of. Then we have E, which is the same color as all of the inner mechanical detail. Very, very detailed stuff here, though. If you look at what I'm guessing is probably like the upper parts of the legs. And then F is the only sprue that's double. Which for those of you who just run through these as snap builds, I'm sure is good news, because it means there's going to be very little tedium involved in this, because there's not that many, you know, you don't get a million double sprues. Anyway, this is actually the legs. There's a coil spring detail here. It's a very nice sort of layered detail here. I love how that's molded. And then G is actually this ABS plastic sprue here, which is just a bunch of joints. These spherical pieces here actually look like something you would normally expect to be a polycap, but it's not. Neither is this, which actually brings me to the next thing I wanted to mention. There are no polycaps in this kit. Not a one. It's just these ABS plastic parts here, and that's it. That was G. And then, right. The cockpit hatch is its own sprue. Okay, and I've just changed my mind. I actually am taking this out of here. I'm a little concerned about losing this. We're leaving J in here. I mean, this is the eyes, right? Yeah, I don't know why this needed to be packaged separately. It seems to be, well, it's glossier than the other dark parts. I don't know. I'm wondering if this is packaged separately because because this is accurate to the colors of the Tomy toy. But in the anime, it actually was a different color. I think it was silver. Or light gray, and it could be, aside from the fact that there's already a lot of gnashing of teeth about that, it could be, in my opinion, that they're going to make a different version that's like anime accurate colors, and then they'll, you know, it'll be easier for them to swap this out for a gray or silver piece. I also want to take a look at this pilot figure here, because it's just too weird that, yeah, this is, see, what I wanted to see is if I could pry the arms off, because, you know, if you've built HMM kits previously, then you know you usually assemble the pilot, but this dude is actually comes molded as one piece, just like on a Tomy Zoid. That is very strange, he says, trying to fumble it back into the bag and failing. Yeah, anyway, you know what? I'm going to do that later. I is just what it would be the rubber caps if this was a motorized Zoid. I think these are all identical. And finally, we have here L, which is Kotobukiya's usual heavily marbled metallic silver plastic. Looks okay, but I mean, I don't have to tell you guys that I'm going to paint this stuff. So anyway, that's it for this unboxing. I am going to denubbinify all of these parts now and put this thing together. And then we're going to see, you know, how posable it is. And I also want to do a comparison shot with the original Rev Raptor, of course. Back in a moment. Okay, let's start with posability here. From the head to the tail is probably the best way to go about this, huh? So the head is attached with this ball joint that actually likes to pop off, to be honest. And then the ball joint is on the swivel, which allows it to go very far back and very far to the front, which means that, like with the neck, you can do this pose. Which is sort of the way it's posed, the way the Tomy toy is posed, and then it goes about this far back, and you can, I mean, forward, and you can do this with it. What you can't do, honestly, is when it's forward, there's really no way to like rotate the head sideways to have the neck forward and have it actually look in this direction. It always ends up being kind of derpy. The neck also moves side to side a little. Of course, the mouth opens and closes, and so does the cockpit. If I can get that to open for me. Yep, the pilot is always drunk because he doesn't doesn't really seem to fit into his chair properly here. Next, on the torso, before I forget, we have this hinge here that allows the torso to do this for no real apparent reason. Also moves a tiny bit side to side, although it doesn't seem to be intentional. The legs rotate, although of course this big armor piece here kind of bumps up against everything. They're on a ball joint, and that ball joint is also on this hinge here that allows them to move out a little, but they'll go about this far before you're done. The knees go this far back. Also, actually, this armor piece here opens to reveal this booster here, which is pretty cool. And then they go this far to the front, which really isn't that far. But what's kind of cool is you can see this tube here actually disappears into the leg pieces when you bend its knee. So that's pretty cool. On the feet here, these two toes are one piece, but they can be moved. It'll swing side to side like this, and it'll also move forward and back about this far. The arms sit on a ball joint. Sit on a ball joint. Actually, I just realized this rotates a tiny bit. That's the part that's actually intentional. Let's try something here. If you pop this, okay, yeah, all right, but then you have to take the cannon off. You can, I don't know if it looks dumb, but you can, when you pop the hinge here forward, you can see then you can actually rotate this. Don't know if that was really the idea here, but anyway, back to the arms. They'll rotate here at the shoulder joint, and they'll swing out a tiny bit, not that far. Full rotation at the bicep. Elbow goes pretty far. And also the claws here can be moved individually. Now, before I pop the contraption off the back here, the tail will bend this far on this plane, and it'll bend sideways this far. Come on. I guess this last segment doesn't bend sideways, or at least I don't think it does. That's as far as that'll go. And now finally, this comes off. You do have to take the cannon off first. I just already removed that earlier because it was falling apart. And then here, these blades will, first of all, they'll move, well, they would rotate all the way around if this wasn't in the way. They can also be rotated here, and they can be extended like that. Now this gimmick, I have to say, I'm not a huge fan of, because first of all, when you extend them all the way, then this happens, which doesn't really, look very good. And also, this is a really tight fit here. I'm thinking I'm going to paint this kit, right? And if I want this to still work, I would have to sand all of this down to make it much thinner so the paint doesn't scrape off the first time I move it. So to be honest, I may just leave the blades like this. Looks better like that anyway. And forget about that gimmick when I paint the whole thing. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Let's check out some pictures.
Yeah, and the first of those pictures is going to be this fascinating shot of 2 pieces of armor. You can swap these out for the regular ones that go on the arms, and as you can see, they have these peg holes in Kotobukiya standard size, so you can attach extra weapons to them. The kit also comes with this action base adapter that you can swap one of those vent pieces out for. Good stuff, but let's actually do some comparisons now, shall we? First off, here's the Tomy Rev Raptor that was spelled with an E and also looks pretty different. As you can see, the Kotobukiya model is a lot bigger overall and the red is considerably lighter. I have to say, I like the original red color much better, and I'll probably paint mine something close to that, but the proportions of the Kotobukiya model are a lot less stumpy, of course. As it turns out, the purplish inner frame pieces are also an addition by Kotobukiya's designers, and I appreciate the added collar separation, but this also kind of feels like a throwback to some older models where they'd always sneak in some butt ugly extra collar for no reason. Also, if you don't have the Tomy model, here's a comparison to my embarrassingly unpainted Genosaur from a million years ago, just to give you an idea of how big the Rev Raptor is. It's bigger than the Tomy version, but definitely still pretty small, as it should be, of course. Now, as far as posability goes, it's nothing crazy, but totally serviceable. The smaller kits rarely have the most posable limbs, but it's fine. I'd rather have that than weird, spindly looking joints in the name of posability. I also have to say I wasn't too impressed with this kit at first, but looking at these pictures now, I'm not sure why. If nothing else, I would definitely say the little guy photographs extremely well. It's also just a well-engineered kit overall. Other than the cannon on the back popping off during my review, I've had zero issues with things not staying together. The build is very straightforward with no fiddliness or parts that feel like they fit together too tightly, and it's also a good example of an update to the Tomy toy that actually works. All of the design cues are there, but they're amplified in just the right way, and in the end it still looks 100% like the Rev Raptor, just bigger and leaner and meaner. So yeah, I think we're all just glad to see the first pre-Zoids Wild HMM kit in a million years, but I'm happy to report it's also a winner. Now everybody go out and buy 10 of these so that they'll make more. And that's it for this one. Since I don't have much else to blather on about right this moment, I'll just say if you like Zoids, you really need to be subscribed to this channel. And if you like what I do and you want to support me, I have Patreon and PayPal links in the description. But just giving this video a like and maybe not skipping over the ads already helps me out. In the meantime, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.